Okay, so if you have been rocking with me for any time, you know I'm a filmmaker and a film lover. And when I get into something, I'm all into it. So the way this brain works, because I can't even explain how, but it does. And it's amazing. But when I watch something, the first time I watch it through the eyes of a filmmaker. So I'm watching shots, I'm watching close-ups, I'm watching for meanings behind why they did this and why they did that. So I'm the worst person to watch something with the first time. The second time, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let you enjoy it. I'm going to let you figure it out. When I watch it by myself, I am able to kind of predict a little bit about what's going on. Very few shows have tricked me. There have been a few that had some twists and some turns that have gotten me. And last year, I watched Georgia and Ginny on Netflix, and I really did like it. And I probably watched it 3 times when it came out, and I'm gonna say 4 times because season 2 was just released last week. And so for me, because I've watched so many different things in between that time and then, I needed to go back and see, what happened in 1 to go over to 2. And so when I started watching it, I started seeing triggers. And one of the things that was really triggering to me was, spoiler alert if you have not seen season 2. Jenny was burning herself, and burning, cutting, and pretty much any type of self-harm is a cry for help. However, the part of the body that Jenny was burning herself, nobody could see it. But I'm going to be honest and say her mom had her own thing going on, and so she didn't recognize it. I learned for myself through research that when you cut, because I do remember, and I'm so glad that she's overcoming, but I do remember T.I.'s daughter Deja saying that she was a cutter and that she got help, and she was speaking out to help other people. We need to see that. We need to see that I got over it. The dark cloud, I got over to the rainbow. We need to see that, because, and that's the reason why I've started doing these more, because I feel like my test turned to testimony can help somebody else. The cutting is because the pain is so intense, so difficult, that the cutting and watching the blood come out is like spilling of the pain that you feel on the inside. Because when you can't see the pain, if you were being harmed and you could see the pain, like a black eye, a bruise, so you know that there's pain. But the cutting is a release. It's a defense mechanism. It's very wrong. It's bad. It does require extensive help. But if you don't know, you can't get the kind of help that you need. Nobody really knew the things that Jenny was going through. I saw some things with her being overly sexual. It's happening everywhere, but the kids are having sex at an early age. Not to say that this is anything new, but they are so free with doing it with whoever, however, whenever, whyever, that it should raise a red flag. But most times as parents, we don't know until there's a problem. But The relationship between Georgia and Ginny is rocky anyway. And as most teen mother-daughter relationships, the shit is rocky regardless. I am close with my kids, but I understand the pull and tug mentality between black mothers and black daughters, being both. I understand the dysfunction between my mother and I can correct it between my daughters and I. So for Ginny, Georgia's behavior was a trigger for her. She was learning more and more about who her mother was and the things that she's done, some of her secrets that we all have. There's a secret life that we have that we don't want our kids to know. But the burning, I think she had got so used to it that it felt like an everyday thing to her until it spilled out to be so much so that she had to confide in her father. And as we all know, most of us don't have that. We don't have two parents where if I'm having a problem with this parent, I can go to this parent as an outlet. Most of us don't have that. So she went to her father, who she felt confident in enough to tell him what she was doing and what was going on. And he was wrong because he felt like he should keep it a secret but put her in counseling so that she would stop, but he didn't discuss it with Georgia. And as a father, he felt like he was doing the right thing by his daughter. And I get that. We these kids never come with instructions, so we don't know the right way to fix a crisis. Shit, we dealt with it the best way we could, especially if you were raised in survival. You just survive. You don't know how to act in loving situations, because all you know is survive. Me. I gotta get it for me to survive. I gotta do it. So Georgia was raised in survival. She went through some things herself. Little bit comes out more and more. Her stepfather was obviously doing some things to her that she did not want to happen to Ginny. And as most mothers do, if you've ever been through some type of trauma, the main goal is that this shit ends with me. I won't allow the same thing to happen to my kid. And so she went to therapy. She was able to, a lot of times if you go to therapy and you don't connect with the therapist, you won't really talk to him. But thank God she did talk to him. And I encourage anybody with kids, if there's something going on that you don't understand, seek a therapist that you feel like your kid would definitely talk to. Not somebody they're going to bullshit around, because it's going to be a waste of time, a waste of money, a waste of energy. But she had gotten to the point where she wasn't burning herself anymore. But in finding her strength to not self-harm herself, she was rebellious and she was acting out. And that only causes more strife, which makes more turmoil, where her and her mother were battling now. Because now it's a battle on, I'm going to test you to see how far I can push you, because I'm at this point where you can't really hurt me anymore. So there was a scene where she stole one of her mom's credit cards and bought the little brother a game because the credit card was in the little brother's name. Georgia had used Ginny's social security number, and she had ruined her credit score. Ginny, the 16-year-old's credit score was a 315. And we know that happens. You know, you had the light bill in your name, water bill, cable, something was in your name. Back in the day, our parents did it. Evidently, some are still doing it. So she felt like she had to rebel. And even when she was rebelling, her mom still didn't know she was cutting herself. Her mom found out she was cutting herself through her journal, her therapy journal that she has started using to write poetry to release. The first thing that she did was she called the dad, found out he knew. She was mad at him, of course. And that's a normal reaction. How the fuck you knew? You didn't tell me, and I didn't know how to fix it, because we always want to fix it. The first thing she did was she ran to Jenny's room, she outed her, and she wanted to see. They didn't show us, and I can only imagine, because I have one of those imaginations, the way her thighs and her legs look from the many burns and scars and damage that she had probably done, because I'm sure she was burning herself. She wasn't taking care of it properly. You know, it turned into scars and all kind of things. But what triggered me was when she said, give it to me. I can take it. I can take all your pain. As a mother, I've said that so many fucking times that it has become human nature to me. Like, give me your pain. Give me that. Let me carry that. That's not yours. Give it to me. I'm tough enough. I can take it. And they cried and they spent more time together. So this opened up communication for them to discuss Georgia's past and her not wanting Ginny to repeat it. So I don't care. Everybody's relationship with their mother and their kids are different, but we all striving for the same thing, for those kids or our kids to be better than we were. And one of the things that Georgia said was, I did it all for you. I'm doing it for you. I don't want you to have to go through this. I want you to stop doing it. Please stop doing it. How can I help? Please don't do this anymore. Which, of course, that's what we want. Like, stop it. When you feel this, come to me. Let me help. Let me take this away. But how many of our kids are suffering in silence that we know nothing about? And although Jenny's outlet was burning, some of our kids are smoking. Some of them are popping pills. Some of them are drinking lean. Some of them are overly sexually active. Some of them are bullying. So many things are playing out in our kids' life that we have nothing, no inkling of the things that's going on until it's a big explosion and everything is exposed, and we're here trying to figure out, where did we drop the ball? How did I do? Like, is this my fault? Like, did I do this? And any mother or father will take blame first for something that we had no idea was even going on. So my takeaway is, get in their business. Like, I know, you know, it's cliche now. Look and see what they searching on their phone, who they communicating with, what they talking about. Spend time with them. I try to give each one of my kids a day, a time, an hour, just me and that one kid, and say, what do you need from me? What's going on? How's school going? But the relationship that I am so fucking proud of, because it took a lot of strength, it took a lot of everything. My pride and joy is the relationship that I have formed with my children, where they like me. Not all the time, because you know they teens. But they confide in me, they trust me. We're friends. And I remember growing up hearing, I'm not one of your little friends. Constantly, my mom, I'm not one of your little friends. I don't do that. I am so proud to say that I am one of my kids' friends, like their best friends. We ended up at the basketball game because they wanted to go. Me, you know, I could find something in the house to do. I could have been watching Georgia and Ginny. But it was important to them that they go to a basketball game. It just so happened that my alma mater was playing my daughter's alma mater. Good game. But it was something that they wanted to do with me. And the things that I want to do, they do. They don't like it, but they do it just because they like, well, she went to this with me. But it was not an And it is not easy to maintain this relationship. But because it's the most important relationship that I'll ever have, except for my husband, and I'm still waiting on him, I invest a lot in this. I invest a lot in my kids. And it's just a simple crawl in the bed with them. Who you talking to? What y'all talking about? Who you texting? Let's watch a movie. Let's go get something to eat. Let's go walk the bridge. Let's go walking at the park. It's the little things that when they become mothers, they'll remember. At least I know my mama tried, and I know she didn't have a manual, but she did the very best she could, and she was damn good at it. And I worked hard for it, and that's one thing that I am very, very proud of. The relationship that I have formed with my kids, to the point where if they off, I can look at them and tell. It's in their body language, it's in their demeanor, it's in their silence. And when they silent, I don't push, but I just let them know, hey, when you get ready to talk, you know where to find me. If you don't want to talk, text me. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to stuff. We're not going to pretend. We're not going to gloss over it. We're going to handle this shit. Because I'm breaking generational curses. I will not repeat the mistakes that my mom made with my kids. I broke curses for generations to come to know that. I want my great-great-grandkids to know that, damn, Mimi was a badass bitch around here. Because I did it for them. The Bible says, leave a legacy for your kids, kids, kids. And that is what I will definitely do, no matter what.